Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Ballpark. I am Matt, your host, and I have with me Ethan. There's only two of us tonight because Joe's busy and,
We don't have any other friends.
no one's really available, and we don't have friends. And no one else in our group talks baseball outside of me, Ethan, and Joe, and Adam, if he ever comes back.
Yeah. He's dead. It's fine.
Adam's dead for right now. He died. It was very tragic. I heard he tripped over some light. he tripped over the sunlight, and it was very, very sad, very tragic. Obviously, we're kidding. He didn't die. He only died mentally. I don't know.
He didn't die. He only died.
But yes, it is. Award season, I guess, has passed now. And I figured that'd be a good thing to start with all the awesome awards given to all the great players and coaches of the year.
Yeah.
And why not start with the MVPs? Because that's the best award in baseball. I believe it was Mike Trout in the AL. That's unsurprising. He's the best player of the last 50 years. You could argue.
He should be awarded the MVP every year.
Yeah, he should just get it, even when he's hurt, even if he's out for the year. Just give Mike Trout the MVP because he's Mike Trout.
Yeah.
And I believe it was Cody Bellinger who.
Yeah, of course it was going to be.
Should not have gotten it over Christian Yelich, in my personal opinion. But Bellinger was a better fielder, and he played the whole season, so I give him a little bit of credit in that.
Yeah, Bellinger played more. I feel like if Yelich finished out the season, I'm pretty sure he would.
Oh yeah, Yelich would have had it. Yelich, they were saying that. I watch a lot of MLB Network and ESPN, and they were saying had Yelich finished out the year, he would have been MVP. Mike Trout, didn't finish out the year, so there's a case to be made that maybe Yelich should have still been MVP. But on the flip side of that, Mike Trout also had by far the best numbers in the AL.
Hell yeah.
The second was Alex Bregman, who, yes, was more valuable to his team because they, went to the World Series and ended up losing. Still, he wasn't quite as good as Mike Trout, even though Mike Trout missed 2 months of the season. Or no, the last 3 weeks or something. I don't remember. He missed some time, but he was still better than everybody else in baseball. So if you're a guy that misses misses about a
3
month,
weeks in the season,
and you still get the
MVP,
else, your numbers are still better than anybody else. You deserve the MVP. Like Joe Mauer back in 2009.
Yeah,
missed the first month, hit 30 home runs.
I kind of feel bad for Trout because he's on he's on a team that's going nowhere. And it's so sad that his talent's there.
Here's the thing with Trout too. He's on a team that's going nowhere, but he is locked in. But he's also probably the greatest player of a generation. He's one of the greatest players of all time, right? And now he's locked into an organization who's probably not going to give him up, and might not even go to the World Series for the remainder of his career. Because the Angels have a little bit of work to do. They have to, first off, find a way to get rid of Albert Pujols if he still wants to continue playing. You're not just going to send him down to the minors and pay him $55 million a year or whatever that he's making.
Would you call what the Angels are doing tanking right now?
I don't think they're tanking. They're not, because they hired Joe Madden. That's not a team. It's not a manager you hire to tank.
That's true, yeah.
But another thing about Mike Trout is it's like having the situation with Washington this year. They got rid of, Bryce Harper. They immediately went on to the World Series.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper is a really good player, and he was amazing for the Nationals over his career, over the however many years he was in Washington. He was amazing. He was one of the best players in baseball.
He actually won the MVP in 2015, didn't
he did.
Yeah.
And he also won the NL Rookie of the Year along with Mike Trout. both in their rookie seasons.
Yeah.
So they get rid of Bryce Harper. The next thing the Nationals do is win the World Series. They got rid of a huge name player and ended up winning the World Series with what was basically a scraped together offense, a barely any bullpen, and a godlike starting rotation. But you got to have all aspects of the game in order to win, and they ended up having that at the end of the year. But it's beside the point. Angels are stuck with Mike Trout forever now. If he has a 1 or 2 bad years, what are they can't do anything about it because he's just stuck there. Say he blows out his knee, spring training, and it just annihilates his career, but he's able to come back. He's still a respectable player, but he's nowhere near the level that he performs at
normally
that he would have had he not hurt his knee. This is all hypothetical, obviously. He did not hurt his knee. But if he were to, essentially a Joe Mauer situation here, where he was MVP caliber player throughout, 2009 to 2010. Hell, even, a couple years ago, he was still pretty good, but Twins paid him way too much money. At the time, it was a great deal because, he's a very talented player. But they paid him a lot. He gets hurt and underperforms. Well, now they're stuck with him. They can't do anything with him. Then he retires and the Twins end up winning 100 games. So there's a thing to be said about giving these big contracts to players, because then you're just stuck with them. And if they underperform, you're stuck with that contract. And you can't do anything about it, and it hurts your team.
How long was Trout's contract? Like 13 years or something?
15 years, I thought.
Holy shit. Jesus.
Yeah, I think it was like 450 or 450 million for like 15 years.
Yeah, they're stuck with him. They are stuck with Trout. And like you said, if he has a bad year,
if he has one bad year and he can't recover from that year,
they're fucked.
They're fucked. They've completely fucked themselves. Now, it is Mike Trout. The likelihood of him blowing out a knee blowout, it doesn't happen often in baseball. Football, it happens all the time. Some guy steps wrong and his knee bends backwards and he's done.
Yeah.
In baseball, it doesn't happen that often. So with giving a contract to a guy like Mike Trout does make a lot of sense, because if he doesn't blow out his knee, he's going to continue to be great for the rest of his career.
Yeah, plus I feel like...
But there's a big risk factor with giving a contract that big.
Yeah.
To even a player that good. Because, again, Joe Mauer, concussion issues, great catcher, moves to first base, struggles, but he's still making $25 million a year.
Yeah, plus, I mean, like, look at Machado, look at Harper. Those are examples of long-term contracts just fucking the teams that sign them. Because Machado's stuck in San Diego for like how long? Like 10 years? And Bryce Harper's with
stuck. Yeah, 12. He said suck. I'm like, he had his first year. But yeah, now Machado's an interesting case because the Orioles didn't go immediately on to winning the World Series after getting rid of him. The Orioles lost even more games because they got rid of him. He was probably the only reason they had even won barely anything a couple years before,
Yeah, he was like the best player on the team.
The reason they were able to win 90 games a couple years ago.
I remember when the Orioles won. Remember when the Orioles could win 90 games in the season?
Yeah.
Those days are long fucking gone. Yeah.
So
Mike Trout wins AL MVP. Who's fucking surprised? Not me.
And then, of course, Bellinger, but we're not going to talk about Bellinger.
Yeah, of course, Bellinger. Because fucking
Mike Trout.
Yelks.
And I want to move on to talk about the Rookie of the Year, which I am very happy Pete Alonso won the Rookie of the Year. I was going to be so pissed if he didn't.
Me too.
Same with Alvarez. I was going to be so pissed if neither of those guys won the Rookie of the Year.
Both of those guys
would have had unanimous, but one fucker decided to vote for Mike Soroka, who had an amazing year. But
after
Pete Alonso.
after Alonso's performance in the home run the Derby in July, I was like, holy fucking shit. This kid can he can fucking rake. Like,
they were talking about that on MLB Network. They were talking about the Rookie of the Year and the contracts and shit. And they were talking like, oh, most guys going to the home run derby, like, oh, you're gonna wreck your swing, you know. The rookie goes in, it ends up having a bad year for the rest of the year, or there's a history of that. There's a good history or a long history of people going into the home run derby and then having a shit year for the rest of it.
Not Pete Alonso.
Not Pete Alonso, but the point I'm trying to get here is MLB Network showed the pitches that they were throwing to Pete Alonso during the home run derby. They weren't throwing straight, soft fastballs that you would normally see. They were fucking. The guy was spinning the ball. He was throwing curveballs down and away. He was throwing fucking cutters outside, and Pete Alonso was just going bang,
bang. Yeah,
like, and
he hit everything.
Yeah, he was actually pitching to him. Like, he wasn't lobbing him in there for him to crush, because he was actually physically pitching to the guy. I mean, of course, at a slower pace, so, you know, he could hit it because it's a home run derby. You kind of have to. But he was actually pitching him the ball, which I think helped, or even helped Pete Alonso, because it gave him essentially an extra batting practice with all the lights. It got him used to a little more pressure on him, first off.
Yeah.
And the other part is, you know, it acted like just a glorified batting practice for him.
Yeah.
It helped him. And a guy with that much power.
It's kind of too bad that he's on the Mets, because he's really fucking good.
No, the Mets are up and coming, but still, they're the Mets.
Yeah, so they're still the Mets.
They still have to play the Braves and the Nationals, and even the Phillies have their.
By the way, honorable mention for the AL Rookie of the Year. He didn't do too much, but I think that Vladdy Jr., he deserves at least some talk.
Oh, he'll get recognition, yeah, because
he was. Speaking about the home run derby, holy shit!
No, that was a really good home run derby.
It was so fucking good. And
fucking Vlad Jr. had such a great, you know, performance that too. Of course, it was Pete Alonso that came out with it. And
yeah, but still,
lose.
But Jesus, like, I was watching that game and I was just like I was speechless. I was like, holy God.
Yeah.
He's just hitting everything. And like you said, they weren't throwing like hanging curveballs above the plate. They were like,
no, they were throwing cutters and sliders and knuckleballs away.
Yeah, they were pitching to him
to strike him out. Like, they weren't trying to give him meatballs to crush, because that does ruin swings. That has ruined swings in the past. There's many instances of this happening to players. Like, well, I don't really know if Aaron Judge is a good example, but Bryce Harper a couple years ago had a bit of a drought after the home run derby.
Yeah.
He was really, really good during it, but then he just kind of pitter-pattered along the rest of the season. After the home run derby, he still had a good year that year. But still, it was, you know, you could tell there was the home run derby messed with his swing a little bit. He was trying to, he felt that he could crush everything, that, you know, he could hit a ball 450 feet, and he can, but like not every at bat.
Yeah.
He can't try to do that every at bat. He's very powerful, but he's not Mark McGwire. He can't just swing and the ball's gone automatically. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, of course.
Then there's also the flip side of things, Jordan Alvarez.
Alvarez
had a really great year too.
He was great.
He wasn't Pete Alonso's level, of course.
No, of course not.
But Alvarez had an excellent year. Everything Alonso did just seemed like magic. You know, you would watch him come up to the plate, and you would hear about one day that he had a 2 home run day. Well, the next he had 3 singles and a 5 RBIs or something. Like,
yeah, like he would
go on day in and day out and just hit. And it didn't matter. Like, he didn't lead the league in home runs like people maybe thought he was going to. He just hit. He just hit the ball everywhere he went. It didn't matter what he did. He just hit. Now, part of me wants to put an asterisk by it because of the recent.
Oh yeah, because of the recent allegations against Houston.
But we're not going to talk about that because
we're not going to.
That nonstop for the past week and a half.
Yeah,
no matter where I go, it's
hearing about it.
The Astros cheated. Fuck you. I don't care.
Yeah, no shit. Welcome to baseball. People cheat. I mean, what the fuck?
I will say there is something to using electronic devices to up your game.
Yeah,
to help you win, but still, it's still
stupid. So do we want to talk about the Manager of the Year awards, or do we just want to skip those?
Well, of course I want to talk about the Manager.
Oh yeah, yeah. Why am I asking? Of course you want to talk about the Manager of the Year award, because guess who won? Guess who won the AL Manager?
We're gonna start out with the NL, which I don't really agree with.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Mike Shildt won the Manager of the Year. Bullshit. Dave Martinez took a team that was 19-32 to the World Series. At one point in the season, the Nationals were 19-32. You know what the Nationals did? Fucking won like every game from there on out. Into the wild card, beat the fuck out of the Brewers, kicked the shit out of the Dodgers, swept the fucking
Cardinals,
St. Louis, full on swept St. Louis.
And they won, and then they won the World Series.
And then they won the World Series.
How the fuck?
Side note, the manager of the Cardinals, Mike Shildt, won the Manager of the Year.
What the fuck?
He got swept by the Washington Nationals, who are managed by Dave Martinez, who wasn't even on the ballot. You couldn't vote for him. He wasn't on there.
Oh, really?
He was not on there. It was Craig Counsell, Mike Shildt, and can't think of the other guy. What was the other?
Dave Roberts. No,
it wasn't Dave Roberts. Oh, fuck. No, I can't think of it. Craig Counsell, Mike Shildt, and there was one other guy that they were like, "Oh, he should definitely win it."
The point is that Dave Martinez wasn't on there, and that's bullshit.
It is total bullshit. It is utter
come
bullshit.
On, man.
Oh, it was the guy from Atlanta.
Oh, what the fuck's his name?
Yeah, Snitker.
Yeah,
he was the third guy. Yeah. But still,
Mike Shildt,
the guy who got swept out of his own, like, they lost at home. They got swept at home. Like, Washington beat them. Or wait, yeah. Because Atlanta was so good. Washington still had a really good record. And they were, I believe it was better than the Cardinals. Because Cardinals only had like 91 wins.
God damn. Okay, so enough of that. Let's talk about the AL Manager of the Year. It's probably going to mostly be Matt, because guess who won the Manager of the Year?
Yeah, give me 2 seconds. St. Louis Cardinals. I fucking typed in the wrong thing here. St. Louis Cardinals were... Just go to the record. Oh, wait, I can just click on this. NL East, NL Central. Cardinals had 91 wins. Nationals had 93 wins. So, yeah, the Cardinals got swept at home.
But even in the regular season.
2 games. They lost the first 2 games in Washington. The Cardinals lost the next 2 games in St. Louis.
God damn.
To get swept.
Your Manager of the Year, ladies and gentlemen. What the fuck?
And the guy who lost got the Manager. It doesn't make any sense to me. It baffles me that Dave Martinez wasn't even included on this. And most of the people who are talking about it on ESPN and shit, they say the same thing. It shouldn't be the case. Dave Martinez should have been a unanimous Manager of the Year, but he was absent from the ballot. Completely absent. That doesn't make sense.
That's awful.
Now, On to the AL Manager of the Year.
Okay.
I was so goddamn excited when we fucking beat Aaron Boone. Especially to prove everyone wrong.
Yeah.
Rocco Baldelli, manager of the Twins, of course. Won
Baldelli,
the manager of the
baby!
year.
Sorry, had to do that.
Just excellent year for the Twins, and Baldelli deserves it. Going into a new situation, completely new team. You know, he wasn't even a manager before. Rookie manager. First time even being necessarily on a coaching staff outside of having a limited coaching role with the Rays. Comes into a new team that happens to hit 307 home runs and win 101 games.
That's insane.
Of course, we got swept by the Yankees, but that doesn't necessarily matter when fucking, you know, in this situation, we're not going to talk about that.
Well, apparently, with manager of the year, it doesn't matter if you fucking get swept in the postseason because Mike Shilt's on the fucking.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They don't take any postseason into that.
Well, that's fucking bullshit. Then that's even worse with the Nationals because you can't say the Nationals have like a horrible regular season, nor did the Twins, but still.
Yeah, neither team had a. You know, they both had great regular seasons, and hell, even fucking even the people who lost, like the guys who lost, like fucking Craig Counsell brought the Brewers out of nothing to go to the wild card game, which of course they got beat by Washington.
Yeah, but still,
Craig Counsell had a hell of a year. If we were taking that into consideration, taking getting beat in the playoffs to consideration, Craig Counsell should have it because, well, he took his team from like they were dead in the water. They were even worse off than the Nationals were.
Yeah.
And they still ended up making the postseason as a wild card team. But they still lost over Mike Schilt, which still doesn't make sense to me.
Yay, Mike Schilt. Who honestly gives a shit?
Yeah, but of course, AL, you know.
Hey, come on. We all know Aaron Boone should have won AL Manager of the Year. Let's be complete.
I will be honest. I will be honest with you. I'm not saying Rocco Baldelli shouldn't have won. He should have. I was very happy with the two guys that did pick him. They were both right. I will drop those names here in a minute. Well, I won't drop the names. I'll just say two of the analysts on MLB Network picked them, and I was very happy with them. Everyone else was saying, "Oh, Aaron Boone should have it." Like there was several people writing it off, like, "Oh, this won't be close. Aaron Boone is guaranteed to get it." Or, "Oh, well, look at Rays manager. I can't think of his name right now."
I forget the Rays manager's name, but
he had a great insert Rays manager's name. Just edit it over, find it, record it, edit it over.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, he should win too." You know, they were talking like, they're like, "Oh, Aaron Boone deserves it." You know, great year. But then the Rays manager also had a great year. Rocco Baldelli is probably not going to win it. You know, he's off in the corner. Twins had a great year, but they were shaking him off. And well, next thing you fucking know, he's winning he won by 10 votes or by 10 like points, if you will, because Aaron Boone got 13 first place votes, right? Or 12 or 14 or fucking some shit. Somewhere in there. Rocco Baldelli got the same amount of first place votes. And he got that same amount second place votes. He had like 14 fucking second place votes, as well as the 14 first place votes. And Aaron Boone only had 14 first place votes and 19 or like 9 second place votes. So I was happy. I was happy about that, and I will be happy about that until he wins it again next year when the Twins actually win the World Series.
Is that your locked in prediction? Twins win in 4.
Yeah. Hey, you know what happened when they won in 91? They went out and got a big name pitcher. But before we get to that, Is there another award that we need to? I don't think so. I think we got to look at it. Oh, Cy Young, I guess.
Oh yeah, the Cy Young for the AL. It was Justin Verlander, who, okay,
deserves it.
pretty
Yeah,
well deserved.
Yeah.
As far as the NL, Jacob deGrom from the Mets, another
winning
Met,
it again,
who
second year
is,
in a row.
Again,
Yeah,
relatively good.
And
I feel
again,
bad
it's
that he's
the
on the
Mets.
Mets.
It's the Mets. How
the
can they
Mets.
have a Rookie of the Year and the Cy Young
and still fucking suck?
but still be horrendous?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know how do you have Syndergaard, DeGrom, and Alonso and still fucking whatever.
Still somehow blow so much dick that you can't even suck the cock at second place.
But now Carlos Beltran's their manager, so I don't know.
Yeah, God. I don't even know where that franchise is going with Carlos.
How the fuck?
Beltran
How is?
manager.
Imagine if they win a World Series with fucking Carlos Beltran next year.
Beltran was a great player, but I don't know
if he's gonna be a great manager. I mean,
you just never see him like that intelligent of a baseball mind.
Hey, do we want to talk about the Gold Glove and Silver Slugger awards?
Nah.
Okay.
Really, I will say Nelson Cruz won and Mitch Carver, I guess, both won for my team.
Yeah.
Jackie Bradley.
As far as
Glove, I guess.
As far as a Boston goes, Mookie Betts for Gold Glove. It's under Bogarts and Mookie for Silver Slugger. I don't really know about Mookie for Silver Slugger. I mean, he was all right, but he wasn't as good as he was like last year.
Yeah,
I don't know why the fuck he's even considered, but whatever. Yeah, what do I know? I'm not the MLB, thank God.
No, but that's blown over. Now now we're done with all the awards. I don't know if there's really.
What else is there to
talk about free agents? I guess.
Yeah, free agents.
The free agent class is insane this year. Garrett Cole, Steven Strasburg. That's just pitching.
Steven fucking Strasburg, bro.
But there's a good chance he's going to go back to the Nationals. So is he really a free agent? Anthony Rendon, of course. Josh Donaldson. Free agent class is loaded this year, and not like last year where it was loaded because Bryce Harper and Manny Machado were both there. It's actually loaded this year for the first time in like 5 years where there's actual talent and not just pretty names that happen to be semi-good but built a good reputation.
So do you think that the Dodgers are going to take Ryu back because he's a free agent now? Or are they going to?
Well, maybe, but Ryu's old. He's going to want a 2-year contract at most. I think he's like 36, but he had a really good year. He's going to want to get a 2 to 3 year contract, and he's going to end it at that. Like, it's not going to be. He's going to maybe make $15 million a year.
Yay, Bumgarner.
Purely because of age, Ryu's going to get about $15 million a year. To spice things up a bit, do we want to play a game?
Sure.
Or do we want to wait to do that for Joe?
I don't know. It's up to you.
Because it would just be that one game that we played last year where we were like, oh, hey, I want this guy, and this guy.
Oh, yeah. That's a good 10 seconds of silence. And we can play it now. Fuck it.
Yeah?
Yeah, let's just do it now.
So maybe we'll lecture Joe on it or fucking.
We'll probably come back to it.
We'll come back to it later on. We'll come back to it. I'm sure we'll change our minds later down the road, maybe.
Yeah.
But these are kind of our early predictions, I guess. Early what we want,
Okay. Should we start with Cole first? Because he's the biggest. He's probably the biggest free agent right now.
Okay, so oh yeah, this would be fine to do because I was thinking. You remember that game that we played last year where I was like, hey, pick 3 guys, one you want, one you.
Oh yeah.
We can that one we'll save. We can save for Joe. We can do just basic predictions of where guys are gonna go.
Yeah, cool.
So we'll do our base predictions of what players are gonna get, where they're gonna go. We'll do what, top 10?
Yeah, top 10, because
those
are the ones. Yeah, because those are the ones that really matter right now. So.
Okay.
So let's.
Do you got a list up for?
Yeah, I do. I have a list.
Okay, cool.
All right, so let's do it. Let's start off the top with possibly the biggest free agent.
Probably the biggest free agent.
Mr. Garrett Cole himself. He's gonna go back to Houston.
You think so? I don't think he's going back to Houston. That's why I think he's.
Because I'm thinking of like all the teams in the AL he could go to. I don't know. He's definitely not going to Boston. I don't know about New York. Maybe
he's not going to New York. He's possibly New York. He wants West Coast.
He wants West Coast.
He wants West Coast. From what I've heard, he wants either New York or West Coast, and both are very good landing spots for him.
Well, if he wants
to are a natural fit because they desperately need a good starting pitcher, but do they want to pay $200 million after they just paid Mike Trout $450 million?
Yeah, that's my thing. Is like, because whatever contract,
lock down a stud pitcher. They also have Shohei Ohtani, but of course Ohtani's only making like $5 million a year because he had the rookie contract.
Plus, like, here's my thing. I think any contract Cole's gonna get, it's gonna be a lot. Like over 450.
250. It's not gonna be over 450. It's gonna be 200 million plus. 300 million is absolute max.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big contract, and so whatever team gets him should really, really want him because they're gonna be stuck with him for a while.
You said Houston. What do you got for a price that he's gonna get? What do you got for a contract?
I think around 300.
300. What do you got for years?
300 for around. I want to say 5 years.
5 years, 305 years. That is what?
Yeah.
What is that?
5. Hey, hang on.
What is that? 60 per year?
Hey, hang on a sec. Let me get the calculator up. All right, so 300 divided by 5. Yeah, 60 million a year.
That's a fuck ton of money per year, but I could honestly see something like that happening. It would be by far the biggest average annual salary.
Yeah.
Like by far the biggest or the most amount of money one player makes per year. And I can honestly see that happening. I can honestly see him go to a big market team for $60 million a year because he might not want that huge contract.
Yeah, he's not gonna want like a 10-year long contract with like tons of money. He's not gonna want that. He just wants a nice swift $60 million a year contract.
Yeah, $300 million. He's still gonna want a lot of money. You're not gonna not get a lot of money out of him, but
yeah, of course. So
I'm gonna say for me, most people say thinking about West Coast, thinking LA, either of the LA teams. Fucking I'm gonna go one that's a bit of a hot take.
What?
No, well, I'm kind of deciding between two of them. So he wants West Coast.
He does. He wants West Coast. So
fuck.
Fuck it. Send him to the Giants. No. I'm joking.
I'm thinking this is gonna be bold prediction. Well, no, he won't go there. I'm gonna send him to San Diego.
San Diego. For how much?
$350 million.
Oh, 8 years for $350 with San Diego.
He's from San Diego.
I know, but like there are.
Okay, maybe not $350. I'm gonna give him a nice even $275. 8 years in San Diego.
Okay.
That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going. I don't think he's gonna get. I think he could get 300 million plus from a big market team.
Like the Astros, if they're gonna keep him.
Yeah, like the Astros could easily keep him. You know, the Dodgers could get him for that amount.
Yeah.
But you also have to think Strasburg is going to go somewhere. You know, there are teams that need more pitching.
Yeah.
And with a young core, such a young core in San Diego, they're on the verge of being really, really, really good.
Yeah.
Tatis Jr. is absolute stud. Manny Machado, say what you want, is a great player. The only player that they have that's really hurting them right now is Eric Hosmer, but we'll just look past that for right now because
that's a whole nother fucking
that's a whole
problem.
nother pain of Chihuahua.
Yeah. So I say Houston for 5 years, 300 mil, and you say San Diego for 8 years, 275 mil.
Yep, 275.
All right,
for Cole.
Those are predictions.
Those are predictions for Garrett Cole. What do we got next?
Next one, Mr. Rendon, Mr.
Anthony
Rendon.
Have Rendon over Strasburg. Interesting.
I'm just going by the order that they're in. You know?
Oh, okay, whatever. Yeah. Rendon is an interesting case. Rendon had a great year. He was already making a decent chunk of change.
Yeah.
In Washington, they signed an extension a couple years ago, but now he's a full-on free agent, full-fledged, do whatever he wants type of situation. You know, go anywhere, make anything. He's not going to go to New York. We already know that. They have their third baseman. They have that set up. Gio Urshela is a pretty solid player. They won't get Rendon just to move over or just to stick Urshela somewhere else. I'm going to send Rendon to Texas for 5 years. No. Yeah, 5 years, 125 mil. Which would be, how many would that be per year?
How much?
125 mil.
For how many years? 5?
5 years, 125 mil.
25 mil a year.
25 mil? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew that.
25 mil a year.
25 mil a year.
With Texas, the Rangers?
With the Rangers, a young core. He's not gonna get as much as Strasburg or Cole.
Oh,
I'm just gonna say that right now.
No, of course not. He's great. He's gonna get
probably
get
the second best player in the free agent market. But due to him, like Steven Strasburg has, there's a thing to be said in free agency. There's something in free agency called like name value. It's kind of a mental thing when it comes to free agents. You see a player with a big name, you think, oh, his name is huge. He must be really good. He might not be the best player in that market. The best player in that market be someone who's maybe, you know, he may not be as heard of as some of the others. Like Anthony Rendon, people don't necessarily know who Anthony Rendon is. They know who Steven Strasburg is because Steven Strasburg is he's respected around baseball. He's been one of the best pitchers for a very, very, very long time. And he's still really, really good. Anthony Rendon is the kind of guy who's like, okay, this guy is, you know, good name. He's got a lot of talent, but not everyone's going to know him. So there's going to be something to name value too that is going to maybe diminish his value a little bit to wherever he goes, diminish his contract, but he's still going to make a good chunk of change. And he's still going to go somewhere for quite a while. And that is why Texas for 5 million or 5 years, 125 mil.
5 million.
5 million.
1 mil a year.
$5 million for 5 years.
Yeah, let's go.
Great contract.
As far as Rendon goes, why'd you pick the Rangers specifically?
Why'd I pick the Rangers? Well, they need a third baseman. That's another situation of a rebuilding team has a young core and has money to spend.
Fair enough.
The Rangers, it's also the team that I think he's actually from Texas, so it's another kind of that situation too. But it's also a team that they need a third baseman, and they might go get Donaldson, They could go get Donaldson, but Rendon of course Rendon's going to be a little more expensive, but Rendon's a better player. Like they could easily have, you stick Rendon in the middle of already a decent lineup. The only issue with the Rangers right now is really their rotation and how much they strike out.
Yeah.
Anthony Rendon doesn't necessarily strike out.
You know what?
Like that, actually.
I'm gonna pick a really, really just out there pick. I'm gonna go with the Angels.
Ooh.
Because I feel like they
Who is
just
their third baseman?
Let me check. David Fletcher. I have no idea who that is.
I know who he is, but he's I would say I can agree with that.
Having Rendon there would help, especially because besides Trout and Ohtani, I don't think the Angels have a lot of real power in their lineup.
That is true. They could use a lot of power. They could use just a really good hitter.
Rendon's that hitter, I think. So I'm gonna say it's gonna be Angels, 5 years, $200 million.
$200 million?
Yep.
Angels can definitely afford that, and I'm not even just saying that because, they do have their Mike Trout contract, and again, that's $250 million a year, or that's $450 million a year, but a 5-year deal for a guy that's the fucking, what is $200 million 5 years?
40.
40?
That's $40 million.
It's still quite a bit, but again, I think that's actually kind of doable. I wouldn't say maybe that much for the Angels. I'd maybe say $150 for the Angels. You go to the Angels for $150, 5 years.
Yeah, but I feel like the Angels,
they don't want to shoot over that. They don't want to be stuck with another $200 million already on top of $450.
Yeah. Plus, I think that even though I could see him going there, I feel like it'd be helpful for the team. Realistically, I don't think it's gonna happen because the Angels, I wouldn't exactly call them like a big market team.
I would call them a big market team. I wouldn't say they're the Dodgers or the Yankees, but I'd call them a big market team. I'd say because if you're able to bring it back, the best player of our generation back just for 15 years, you got to be doing something right in terms of money. And
actually, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, Rendon, 5 years, $200 million with the Angels.
I can also see that happening too, because there's also imagine just sticking Anthony Rendon right next to Mike Trout in a lineup. That's insanity.
Dude, that's fucking crazy.
That's insanity. That's like
yeah.
Miguel Cabrera next to him.
So you
literally, that's Anthony Rendon is kind of a young Miguel Cabrera. He's probably not going to get fat, but.
So you said Rangers 5 years for $175 million for Rendon?
$125.
Okay. All right, next one. Steven Strasburg. Where is this motherfucker gonna go?
You can start because they started Rendon.
All right. Well, with Strasburg, it's kind of tough because on one hand, I feel like the Nationals are going to do like everything they can to get him back because he was so fucking amazing this year. Plus in the past years, it's hard to predict with Strasburg because the only team I can see him going back to is the Nationals. That's the only team I could really see him.
Yeah.
That's the only team I can see getting him. So I'm going to say 6 years.
6 years?
Fuck it. 6 years, $300 million deal.
6 years, $300 million. That's $5 million, or that's $50 million a year.
That's $50 million a year.
So yeah, I could see that happening. I'm gonna have a very similar contract to you. Nationals, 5 years.
Okay.
But $200 million a year.
All right. So one last
because
year, $100 million less dollars.
He opted out of fucking. He had 4 years left on his contract, due to make a total of $100 million.
Yeah.
He's a lot better than that. He deserves more than that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he opted out. He's going to stick in Washington. They can't just. They're not going to let him go lightly.
Oh no! Hell no!
I can see 6 years, or I could see 6 years, maybe $250 million happening if his market gets competitive, because there's going to be teams looking at him. The Yankees, Angels,
yeah,
LA. Both LA teams are going to look at him. Fucking even Houston is going to look at him, and all these teams are going to be like, oh, we should target you, and it's going to get competitive. So I can see the $250 million deal happening, but I don't think it's going to get
300
so insanely competitive that it's going to get up to 300. I think it's going to remain. I think he's going to get a solid $200 million a year. He's going to sign fairly early. I think he's going to probably sign around Christmas. And he's going to have a nice little, or he's going to have a nice little deal.
Well, actually, now that you talk about it, I'm probably going to lower my thing to around 250. Because, like I said, I think 300 would only work if it got really, really competitive for him.
Yeah, it'd have to be like the Yankees would have to be.
Yeah.
The first offer from the Yankees would have to be $250 million.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that's my thing.
If they wanted him back that badly, they would go up to 300. But
yeah, all right, so 250 for 6 years. Yeah, that's my.
Yeah, I'm sticking 200. I think the maximum teams are going to maybe want to give him, other than Washington, is maybe 175. 175.
All right.
All right, who do we got?
Zach Wheeler.
Zach Wheeler.
Former Met now.
Former Met. Really good pitcher. Tommy John coming off. He's had some ups and downs in his career. He's kind of. He's hard to explain. Like there's like a weird threshold with him, where he's considered part of like the second tier of starters. But when you look at the names of the second tier of starters, it seems weird that he belongs there, but we'll give him credit. He does. Now, as far as contract goes, I'm going to send him to the Twins for $125 million a year. No, I'm gonna make it $80 million a year for 4 years.
For 4 years, that's $20 million a year. All right, so
we're gonna go $90 million a year.
Okay.
For 4 years, we're gonna give him a little bit more money.
All right, $90 million a year for 4 years. As far as I go, I know nothing about Zach Wheeler.
Zach Wheeler's, again, he's a very solid pitcher, but he's not the other name. Like, he's not Garrett Cole, Steven Strasburg, even the other names on the team
him
here.
Like, I'm sure that he's great, but he just seems like the odd man in this list. He seems like he's just kind of there, like, hey, I'm here too.
He seems the odd man. He seems like the odd man. Kind of the odd man out of a lot of these pitchers. He's the guy that's not going to get as much as
Strasburg or Cole.
He almost needs his own tier, because he fits in numbers wise, talent wise, ceiling wise. He fits in with the likes of Mad Bum and Ryu, but he's not Mad Bum or Ryu.
Yeah.
Like, he's about the same level as Odorizzi, and maybe a little bit better than him. So he almost, and he's not quite as good as Ryu or Mad Bum. So he almost gets his own tier. I don't know why they have him so far up on their list, but regardless, he's still a talented pitcher, and he will still get a payday.
Yes. So because I know nothing about him, I'm gonna skip this one because I can't think of anything. So let's go to the next one. It's fucking Madison Bumgarner. Fuck.
And I know exactly where he's gonna go. I don't know exactly where he's gonna go. I know where he's most likely gonna go, and I know where I want him to go.
He's clearly going to Boston, Matt. You fucking no.
Yeah, clearly.
He's not. He's not. Fuck. Could you imagine fucking Bumgarner in Boston?
You would love it.
I don't.
Would love it. Joe would love it.
I would probably love it. Yeah.
He'd actually end up being really, really good.
So,
but what do you got?
Bumgarner. How long was he with the Giants? He was with them for a while, wasn't he?
Yeah, his entire career up to this point.
Yeah. So. I don't believe the Giants are going to go for him.
You don't think they're going to go back and get him? I honestly don't think they should because they're rebuilding.
Yeah. And as far as he goes in terms of like where he should go, he's going to stay in the... I think that he's going to stay in the NL. That's at least my prediction. And I feel like he's going to go to maybe a team like the Dodgers. Because...
Dodgers? How much?
I can see Dodgers. The Dodgers... I'm not going to go too high because he's not as big a picture as Cole or Strasburg. So I'm going to say 5 years, $150 million.
Yeah, I can see that. It's about $30 million a year. That's a little more expensive than I would give him. But
how much would you give him? Probably around like 125 or
I wouldn't give him 125. I'd give him 105 years. You know, it's $20 million a year. And that's pushing the envelope a little bit. Like that's almost as much as, you know, Darvish would have made had he came to Minnesota.
Fucking Darvish, bro.
God, I fucking wanted that so badly, but it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
For me, now the team that is the most rumored right now is the Atlanta Braves. And everyone's thinking, oh, he's going to go to the Atlanta. Atlanta should totally get him. I don't think he's going to go to Atlanta.
Nah, me neither.
I think that he could. You're going to laugh at me again.
What?
Madison Bumgarner to Minnesota for $100 million a year. No, $110 million for 5 years. No, 115 right, for 5 years.
Well, to be fair, if there is a weak point to the Twins, it probably is their pitching.
It's sure rotation. This is why I'm naming two pitchers, predicting this basically. Two pitchers coming to Minnesota, pretty highly regarded pitchers. One on the cheaper end, one on the more expensive end. They need 3 starting pitchers because they have Brios. Well, they have Brios and Odorizzi locked down. So I guess that takes off one of those spaces.
Yeah.
So now I guess I only really need 2 because you can fill the hole with some minor leaguers. And fill the 5 spot with minor leagers. And
you know what?
Twins have plenty of those.
I could see Bumgarner with the Twins. I could see him.
The reason why I say this is because Mad Bum reminds me of a certain Twins pitcher back in 1991 who signed a 1-year contract. Now, Madison Bumgarner is not going to want a 1-year contract or get a 1-year contract.
No.
Twins went out, got Jack Morris. Right. Twins end up winning the World Series in what is probably the greatest World Series ever played. The reason why I pick Madison Bumgarner is because he has so many similarities to where Jack Morris was in his career at the time. Both have been very respected throughout the game. Both Jack Morris may have been a little bit better than Bumgarner is now at the time. but they were roughly the same age, and they're both very, very good pitchers. Bumgarner less so, this year or coming into next year, but still, it just has that feel to it that if the Twins get this guy, the next step is the World Series. Partly because of Mad Bum's postseason experience. He is one of the best pitchers in postseason history.
Oh, holy shit. He has a .25 World Series ERA. Jesus Christ.
He's one of the best pitchers in postseason history.
Oh my God.
Legendary in the postseason. And that's why I want the Twins to get him so badly. Now, he's not going to be my pick later on for that game we're going to play, that fantasy or whatever, that want. I have another pick for that.
Yeah, me too.
Zach Wheeler. Well, or actually, Madison Bumgarner to Minnesota for $115 million for 5 years. They'll keep him around for a while. He'll be a great veteran piece for the younger pitchers, but yeah.
All right. Next one, Yasmani Grandal.
Oh, this one's tricky. You can start if you got some in mind.
I really don't. I have no idea what to say about like Grandal. I mean,
I know my pick.
I don't know. I don't really have anything to say about him.
Outside of me saying that he's probably I'm kind of caught between two. I'll actually do this for you.
Yeah, because I can't think of anything.
My pick personally, or what I really think is probably going to end up happening, is he's going to go back to Milwaukee for 3 years, $75 million, just a nice little contract to help, be on a team that he was already part of, already a winning franchise right now with Craig Counsell, and he just seems like a good fit there. I don't know if they have a real big time catching prospect coming up through the thing or through the farm is going to be great, but I think Grandal in Milwaukee is just it fits so well when he signed that it's hard to imagine Milwaukee without Grandal right now.
Yeah, because he was
so that's why I kind of think he was kind of a main cog. He was like their main offensive powerhouse.
Yeah,
like he was their big piece other than Christian Yelich. Obviously, it was Yelich and then Grandal.
Yeah,
and you kind of get rid of that. You're getting rid of part of their dynamic, their excellent dynamic that they had last year that ended up bringing them to the wildcard game despite having a losing record.
Yeah, so I could
halfway through the season.
Okay, yeah, I could see him going back to Milwaukee for 3 years.
Here's your pick. Right, here's your pick for Grandal. Boston.
Fuck off, bro.
No, I'm not even kidding. Who's Boston's catcher right now?
Christian Vasquez.
Christian Vasquez has got nothing on Yasmani Grandal.
Yeah, no shit. It's
Christian Vasquez. The Red Sox are going to try to get under, or they want to get under that luxury tax or whatever the bullshit they're on about.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
There's a likely trade. I don't know if it's I don't know when it's going to happen, but the possibility of them trading Mookie Betts is also a possibility of losing one of their biggest bats.
Yeah. So you think instead of getting pitching, which they actually need, they're going to take Grandal?
They're also going to get a pitcher, don't get me wrong, but they're probably not going to get Garrett Cole or Steven Strasburg or not even probably Mad Bum. They're probably going to go for a really good core of pitchers, or they're going to go for one of the lower tiers. They're still really talented pitchers down there, but they're probably going to get Dallas Keuchel, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But Grandal,
how long in Boston? How much?
I'm going to say 7 years. No, not 7 years.
7 years.
3 years. I'm going to go the same contract. 3 years, $75 million.
Okay. All right. So Boston, 3 years, $75 million.
They need to replace they need to have a backup plan for a bat potentially if they trade.
Yeah, that's my
Mookie
thing.
Betts.
It's because like
they have a backup plan if they trade. They need to have a plan in place if they're going to trade Mookie Betts.
Yeah, because I think the stupidest possible thing they can do right now is trade Mookie Betts. Well, not
and
trade
get
him.
nothing.
Yeah, just release Mookie Betts and get like some fucking bullshit prospects.
They trade Mookie Betts. So if they trade Mookie Betts, trying to get under the threshold, they obviously have to get some talent.
Yeah, especially
that's
after
probably,
this.
if I'm being honest, that may be where the pitching comes from.
Is the Mookie Betts trade?
Yeah, potential Mookie Betts trade. That's where they get their pitching.
Okay,
they're gonna get some big time pitching with the Mookie Betts trade. They're
yeah,
because from somewhere.
Yeah, because I mean, like
in the first place, they might not trade him even, but they got to replace that bat.
Yeah, of course.
How else do they replace that bat? An excellent switch hitting power hitter.
Yasmani Grandal.
Power hitting catcher in Yasmani Grandal.
Now,
this does give them a hole in the outfield. I don't know what you guys have for outfield that can play.
We have
Benintendi, Bradley Jr.
JD.
You're not putting JD in the outfield.
JD plays right field sometimes, but he's a DH.
It sucks in the outfield. You guys need an outfielder too. You'll probably find someone on the free agency, someone cheap.
Yeah, it's got to be something like pretty cheap because we're a big market team, but we're also paying Chris Sale fucking like in diamonds, and that was a fucking mistake. So All right, so let's move on from Grandal and being depressed about the Red Sox, and let's move on to Hyunjin Ryu from the Dodgers.
Another pitcher I really like, though he's not going to Minnesota. I would really like to see him go to Minnesota.
With me,
he's not going to Minnesota.
He's going back to the Dodgers.
You think
Short
so?
contract, $75 million, 3 years, $75 million. Because, like you said, he's getting up there in the age, and he's not going to sign a fucking huge contract.
Yep.
It's just going to be a pedestrian.
It's going to be nice, ride out the rest of his career contract.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's not going to be anything too big. Is that what you were thinking too?
I'm not thinking Dodgers.
Oh,
I don't think he's going to go back to the Dodgers.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Atlanta, because Atlanta's not going to get Madison Bumgarner. They're going to really try hard, but again, that draft pick, it's too good to give up. It's too good to give up just for a young team who has to compete with Washington potentially for a crown. Who they have a good young core, and they could win tomorrow, but they're not going to want to necessarily give up that draft pick. I was watching Intentional Talk today, and they put it best on there. They said they're not going to want like they're saying what I'm saying. They're not going to want to give up that draft pick. So they're going to get a few guys that are low cost, don't have a draft pick, don't have a qualifying offer. And Hyunjin Ryu was that one guy, or was one of those guys. He was their pitcher that, because Mad Bum has a draft pick attached to him. You're going to give up a draft pick if you sign him, and teams know that. The winning teams know that. I don't think the Braves are going to do that. So they're going to give. I'm going to go 360. 3 years, $60 million to Hyunjin Ryu to ride out the rest of his career. That's $20 million a year. That's a lot for an old guy.
All right.
Actually, I'm going to go even lower. I'm going to go 345. Because
45, that's a little bit low, don't you think?
That's $15 million a year.
Okay. I'm still sticking with
an older guy like that, with an older player like that. 315 is probably the best you're going to get, unless he could get 360, and 360 is a really good bet, because that is $20 million a year, and for as good of a year he has, he probably deserves that. But teams are going to be a little questionable of his age. Can he return to that? Can he return to that amazing ERA in a tougher division? especially in the NL East.
Yeah.
Especially in the NL East. He had an easy division. He was in the weakest division in baseball in the NL West.
Yeah, that's true.
He was barely playing in any offense. So I think he gives him a lesser contract to ride it out in Atlanta, where he has a really good potential to win a world championship. Not saying he doesn't in LA, but look at LA's track record the last couple years. Let's be honest. Clayton Kershaw can't win a playoff game.
Yay! Yay! You said the meme. Okay.
He's actually, the funny part is Clayton Kershaw has actually mentioned this, and he's actually sick of not being able to win playoff games. Like he said, I get it. I get what the people are saying now. And it sucks. It hurts that this is starting to be a little bit true.
All right.
It's not an actual quote. I'd have to look it up. But
all right. So Josh Donaldson. Ew.
This would be a fun one.
So
I have a different. So you can go first. I will.
All right.
I have a fun one for this.
Josh Donaldson. He's all right. He was good in 2019, but he's getting older, obviously. And I'm gonna say I have no fucking idea. I have no idea what to say about like Donaldson. I mean,
you gotta have something.
What team could he like work in? I mean, maybe
think of a team that needs a third baseman. Who needs a third baseman in the league?
You know what? Fuck it, I'll send him to the Angels. Because they need a... Because him and Rendon, if Rendon gets sent to LA.
So this is if Rendon doesn't get sent to LA. Or this is if Rendon doesn't go to the Angels, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, so if it's not going to be Rendon, it's going to be Donaldson. Because I feel like, like as we talked about earlier, the Angels kind of need a power hitting, like more power in their lineup. And Josh like Donaldson has that. He's not like the most powerful player, but he can definitely hit home runs. He can get like RBIs. And so I feel like it's going to be 5-year long contracts. I want to say 100 mil.
Okay, 20 million a year. He's definitely not going to get as much as Rendon, so I can easily see 100 mil a year, 5 years.
Oh yeah, he's
20 million a year. He's about that good because he's still very, 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 very good. I mean, look at the year he had last year. He got the nickname "Bringer of Rain" for God's sake. He didn't have that everywhere else he's been.
He was great.
He was really good last year, and so. Now, my pick for this is kind of different because, well, it's kind of two teams, I guess. I really want Donaldson in Minnesota. I just think it's an excellent fit. You move Sano over to first base. You got a great power hitter. You got a fun, clubhouse presence. It fits everything the Twins are trying to do right now. And that's win ball games. No one wins better than Josh Donaldson, but I don't think it's going to happen, to be honest. Because they like what their offense is. They like where their offense is right now. If they do get Donaldson, awesome, more power to them. But assuming they don't, Donaldson back to Atlanta. 4 years. We're going to go 80 million. So we're going to go stick with the 20 million a year, but it's going to be 4 years, 80.
It's going to be 4 years? Okay. So that's fair enough.
Just because he's a little older, he's getting older. He's probably going to play till 40, to be honest.
He probably will. Yeah.
Because he's just he just seems that kind of player. He seems like he just wants to keep playing. And if he continues to produce, he's going to play that long. And so for that, part of the reason why I'm not giving. I don't think he's 30. He's not fucking 36. I think he's like 34 or something. But again, he's still up there in age, and he's gonna play till 40. But he's probably gonna see where he's at the end of a 4-year contract. He's gonna want to see where he's at the end of that contract and figure out what he wants to do.
All right, next one, Marcelo Zuna, formerly of the Cardinals.
Oh, he's going back to St. Louis. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I don't have much of a contract for him. Probably $550.
Yeah, that seems,
because he's not nearly what he should be.
Yeah.
And he's not going to get the push that he's not going to get the market that he thinks he is, because there's too many good outfields in the league right now for them to get a bat like Marcell Ozuna. Okay. Here's an interesting case. Boston trades Mookie Betts. They sign Yasmani Grandal.
All right.
They go out and get Marcell Ozuna.
Ooh.
Ozuna's not the hitter that Mookie Betts is, let alone even the hitter that everyone thinks he is. But he's still a nice piece. He's still a really good piece. He's a good RBI guy. He's a good contact guy. You know.
I mean, like his.
But
he didn't
exactly
exactly.
He goes back to St. Louis.
Yeah, me too. Man, that 5-year, $50 million contract sounds about right.
It's not
going to be.
Sounds what he's worth. Yeah, it's not going to be. It may be a little more, or maybe slightly less, but it's going to be around there.
All right, so last one on my list here, kind of underwhelming. I don't know. Nicholas
Castellanos.
Yes.
He's not going to do much. I'm probably going to go back to Chicago. If he goes anywhere else, it's going to be maybe an AL team that needs a DH because he cannot field worth shit.
Oh, he's a right fielder. How about Boston takes him? No.
Yeah, no, that he's an awful outfielder. Boston wouldn't take him. No, to replace Mookie Betts. I mean, it's an interesting idea, but they also have JD Martinez.
Yeah.
And Castellanos is almost a surefire DH. Like, he's the type of guy you'd maybe sign. You'd let play the outfield a little bit because he's still pretty youthful, and he can still run a little bit, but he's a DH. He's a bad outfielder, and he won't do much.
Yeah. So I feel like he's going to go back to Chicago. For how long? I don't know. Maybe a few more years. I'm going to say around.
Chicago's the most likely answer.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be more than 4.
I'm going to say something pretty interesting here.
What?
Oakland.
Oh.
Oakland's DH right now, as I can tell, is I think Chris Davis.
Yeah, I think it's Chris Davis.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But Nicholas Castellanos is a really, really good bench bat. And he's a lot better defender than people think he is. And he would work really well in something of a utility DH role, where he plays the outfield when needed. Like, you want to give someone a day off, you can stick Castellanos in there for a game or two. And you need to get Chris Davis a little bit of time off. You can sit Chris Davis, put fucking Castellanos in at DH. This also, it doesn't really eliminate a need, but it's kind of a Robbie Grossman type of role. Grossman has been solid for Oakland for the last couple of years. But this is kind of the role that he would be overtaking. He wouldn't full on take Grossman's role because, again, Grossman's a very, very good player, and it's kind of hard to take it. But regardless, Oakland, probably 5 years, maybe fucking $45 million.
Yeah.
35 million even. Like, I wouldn't go super high. I wouldn't go 50 for him.
He doesn't seem like a huge
I'd give him a nice little contract.
Like a huge
No,
name.
you know what?
Yeah.
I would go 12 million. I would go 560. I would give him about 12 million.
12
That's about
million
middle of the road. Yeah, that's about middle of the road for a good offensive bat who's also going to be sitting a lot, but also will be splitting time with DH and probably hitting lefties.
All right.
Or whatever the opposite of Chris Davis is.
All right. So that's God damn, that took a while. But
that was a long ass episode.
That was a long ass episode, but it was fun.
Long ass episode. That was a fun episode. I
did, yeah. I kind of
we gotta do a long one because if we may not do it next month. We only will if there's a big signing, big splash comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, because this will probably be the last episode before the season starts in 2020.
It won't be before the season starts. I would say before the year starts, or before next year, before 2020, not before baseball season 2020, but before 2020, because
2020.
We're probably gonna do one right before spring training.
Well, yeah, just kind of looking at
just kind of looking at a recap of the off season and stuff like that. So, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Probably the last Ballpark episode of 2020, unless something huge happens, like fucking 5 players jump off the board immediately, or every player signs with fucking New York
huge teams with the fucking Yankees.
Yankees sign every free agent. I would be pissed.
All right.
And then that would just be a video of just us ranting the whole time.
Of just us ranting about the fucking Yankees. Fuck the Yankees.
Fuck the Yankees.
It's obligatory. Fuck the Yankees.
Also, fuck Mike Chill. But yeah, thank y'all for watching. I do hope you enjoyed latest episode of the Ballpark. And we will catch you on the flip side.
See you later.